Hello, good people. My name is Shane Sterling. Welcome to Raw Vegan Rising. In this video, we're talking about why vegans are so angry. Well, you'd be angry too if you had to change your lifestyle and change your diet and change your habits and change the way you see the world and change the way you're behaving and acting because of atrocities happening on planet Earth. You know, I went vegan at 17 years old. That was 28 years ago for me. And at 17, just a young man coming up in the world, I saw the state of the world. I saw factory farming. I saw the massive destruction environmentally happening. I saw all of the atrocities that was meat eating, and I couldn't believe that it was happening. I was like, wow, I find myself on this planet, in this species. Humanity is wicked. This is wicked behavior, evil behavior. I was really angry. I was pissed. You know, I'm a sensitive human being. I'm a compassionate, empathetic, caring human being. And I was angry at the world. I was really felt displaced, you know, at 17. I felt so displaced. And my veganism was like an act of activism. You know, it was taking a stand. It was the quintessential way you think vegans act, you know. I was an ethical vegan for the animals. I didn't really care about health at that time in my life. And it was really about taking a moral and ethical stand in the world. But what I've come to realize as an adult, you know, the longer I've been vegan, the more I live in the world, is that the power for me is internalizing that anger, bringing it inside and using it as fuel, using it as inspiration to transform my life, to transform the way I act and behave and the way I lead in my family, in my community, in my friends, with people around me. And this YouTube channel of mine, you know, this is my way of transforming myself, taking ultimate personal responsibility. Am I angry as a vegan or angry at the world still? No, I'm not. You know, yes, I abhor injustice. I abhor the atrocity that is factory farming and the mass murder of animals on this planet every year for meat. I abhor the way humans behave. I abhor the way humans treat each other. And I abhor the mindset overall that humanity exhibits, because we're really spiritually evolving creatures. And if we don't take our spiritual evolution on as a process of being alive in this planet, we're just running in circles. We're just in the loop of karmic evolution. You know, whether you believe in reincarnation or not, I just think it's important that we take personal responsibility, each one of us. And that means taking responsibility for atrocities that are happening on planet Earth. That includes factory farming and the mass murder of animals. 250 billion animals a year, mass slaughtered for food. I mean, think about the ethical, moral, spiritual, mental, emotional repercussions for humanity that causes. We're all connected. Every single one of those animals that lives in those factory farms and those slaughterhouses are us. You know, we're all connected. Like, we all share like 95% of our DNA. We're all connected in the higher frequency realms, the higher, you know, divine realms. All consciousness comes from the same place, you know? So we're eating our relatives. When we eat chickens and pigs and cows, we're eating our relatives with 95% DNA similarity. And we're eating the sentient beings that want to live and want to have family relationships and want to love and feel warmth and kindness, just like we do, just like we do. Ultimately, it's a big responsibility to change our lifestyle, to change who we are, how we see the world, and what our habits are. But man, what could be more important than that? What could be more important than standing up for the voiceless and the weak and the helpless? You know, take a stand. Take a stand in your life for the weak and the helpless. We have to be the voice for the voiceless because they can't speak. They're suffering on a mass scale, which means we're suffering on a mass scale. Look at how humanity is suffering. Do you think it's connected? Do you think it's all related? Of course it is. Everything's connected. Everything's related. When we treat animals like that, we're treating ourselves like that. And we're going to get the emotional repercussions in our lives as a species, which is why we see inequality, racism, poverty, struggling, genocide, mass destruction on this planet, pollution. We're polluted in the mind. because we're not taking personal responsibility for our spiritual evolution. And that includes stewardship to animals on planet Earth. Just like every religious text talks about, the 10 Commandments say, thou shalt not kill. What part of thou shalt not kill do we not understand? Because apparently we're killing 250 billion animals a year. It's unconscionable. So we need to stop that behavior. And I have a couple quotes prepared that I think are fantastic. Here's a quote. I have from an early age abhorred the use of meat, and the time will come when men such as I will look upon the murder of animals as they now look upon the murder of men. Leonardo da Vinci. He was thinking that hundreds of years ago. Here's another one. Nothing will benefit health and increase the chance of survival on Earth as the evolution to a vegetarian diet. That is truth right there. Albert Einstein. Smart people know this stuff. The love for all living creatures is the most noble attribute of man. Charles Darwin. The greatness of a nation can be judged by the way its animals are treated. Mahatma Gandhi. How are we treating our animals? What is the greatness of our nation? What is the greatness of America, which is where I live, and the UK and Australia and all the powerful first world nations around the world? How are we treating our animals? That doesn't mean we're not great. We're in a state of complete separation, confusion, and despair. That's what that means. And my favorite quote, and one of my favorite authors of all time, a true genius, by killing, man suppresses in himself unnecessarily the highest spiritual capacity, that of sympathy and pity towards living creatures like himself, and by violating his own feelings becomes cruel. Leo Tolstoy. By violating our own feelings, we become cruel. We are violating our own moral and ethical code. We have a cognitive dissonance. We believe it's important to love animals, to love creatures, to be loving and kind, but we turn a blind eye to the most horrendous atrocity that has ever happened on planet Earth, and that is the mass murder of 250 billion animals a year in the factory farming systems for our addiction to meat. It has to stop. We have to get right with ourselves. We have to get right with God, and we have to get on a moral and ethical path to evolve ourselves for our own spiritual evolution. I'm 100% raw vegan, and this is how I take personal responsibility for my own spiritual evolution. And it works. When you get on the raw food, it works. Raw foods, raw fruits and vegetables, nuts and seeds, organic produce, fuels our body at the highest level possible, fuels our mind, and so we can feel that connection. So we can feel that we are actually eating our relatives. We can feel it when we get off of the addiction. When we stop putting the atrocity and the suffering in our body, we can actually feel the oneness to everything else. We can have the spiritual awakenings. We can have the higher ethical and moral high ground. We can have the openings, the awakenings, and the powerful thoughts and actions that can change our life and change the course and trajectory of human history. So thank you for being on this video. I appreciate it very much. Please subscribe to this channel so I can share the message with others. I'd appreciate it very much. Please give it a thumbs up, leave a comment. Love to hear your thoughts on why vegans are angry, and I will see you in the next one.